So I guess we'll just get started while others join us. So hello and good afternoon. Welcome to the Information Security Information Session. My name is Isha Patel and I'm the Communications Assistant for the Graduate Science Center, and I'll be your host today. I would like to thank everyone for taking their time out to be here today. Let's get started. A quick moment for housekeeping. Please make sure your microphones are muted as we want the speakers to be heard. And please feel free to put your questions and or concerns in the chat. One of our graduate program coordinators will respond to you either in the chat or during the Q&A. I would also like to let everyone know that this presentation is being recorded today. I would like to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. A couple of things as we get started as a little icebreaker. I'll be telling you some fun facts about Calgary that might make you want to join U of C. Calgary was named the fourth most livable city in the world in 2018. Calgary is the sunniest city in Canada with 333 average sunshine days per year. Calgary is the third most diverse city in Canada with more than 120 languages spoken in the city. We're also home to a robust tech and innovation ecosystem, one that is helping us turn into Canada's most adventurous tech hub. A study done by Calgary Economic Development forecasts that Calgary companies will lead 18.4 billion spend on digital transformation in Alberta through 2022. From cloud computing and artificial intelligence to robotics, tech is now the way to do business. Digital transformation is the driver of tech investments by Calgary industries, and industry leaders across the city are hiring. And for all my ladies here, it was revealed that female participation in the technology sector in Alberta is over twice the national average. In fact, 30% of the tech companies in Alberta have a female founder or co-founder. Well, those were some great facts, weren't they? Well, moving on, today we will have a few important people joining us. Dr. Mike Jacobson, who is the Director and Associate Professor of Computer Science, Dr. Ken Barker, who is a Professor of Computer Science, and our industry speaker, Michael Premio from KISP. In addition, we have our graduate program coordinators, Carrie Thacker, Jackie Hunt, and Christine Goodwin, the graduate internship program coordinator, Allison Steele, as well as our other co-op student, Joanna Nikolova. So for the agenda, we will be discussing the program overview, have a discussion with the industry expert, and have a brief overview of the internship program, and then we will conclude the presentation with a Q&A period. Without further ado, I would like to hand this over to Dr. Jacobson and Dr. Barker to discuss the information security program in detail.
Okay, thank you, Aisha. So welcome everybody. So I'm happy to see all of you here. And my job is to just tell you, I guess, the structure of the program. So first, the main point is that the industry has a huge need for people working in information security and privacy. I forget what the latest numbers are, but I think, worldwide it's literally in the millions, in the hundreds of thousands in North America, and it's just people are desperate to have people working in this area. So there's lots and lots and lots of opportunities. I think that it's pretty clear that the need is also great. There's good reasons why there's so much demand for this. If you just look in the news, you can find security breaches and issues happening pretty much all the time. There's always things going wrong. I'm not sure what the most latest one is. SolarWinds is a very big famous one that affected the US government and lots of industry down there. But again, it's very easy to find examples where we're getting this wrong. And so we need a lot of well-qualified people to help and make this a little bit better. So our aim, with this program is to just help fill that need by, providing people with a really broad foundation in the cybersecurity and privacy realm. This is one of the things that our program, I think, is a little bit different from a lot of other programs that you see. We are going to be teaching you a lot of hands-on experience, working with the tech and working with the various tools that are there to theoretical foundations, like what cryptography is, how it works, why we do things certain ways in an applied sense, all the way up to managing risk and governance and navigating through various governmental policies that are out there, governing, the way in which organization has to try to operate in order to be compliant with these things. And this is something that we've learned, from our industrial partners that is very important. So they've said that a lot of times they get people who can do one of those things, but not the other. And they often spend a lot of time having to train people to understand policy or be able to write it, or to train people to understand how the tech works. So our program is designed to give you a good broad foundation into all of these areas, from which you can then go on to a company and find your niche and start specializing and hit the ground running a little bit more effectively than other programs might be training people to do. So next slide, please, Aisha. So what we have is actually what's called a stackable certificate model. So we have on the books 3 different certificates covering certain areas in the discipline. The first deals with network security. The second focuses on data privacy. And we have a third certificate on software security. The way that this works is that if you do any 2 of those certificates, you can package those together and add on a internship or capstone project, and then you'll earn our master's degree in information security and privacy. You can do the whole thing in 1 year, get the entire master's programs, September through September, and earn the whole thing. Or, if you don't have time for that, it's possible to do 1 certificate per year, and over the course of a couple of years, again, build them up, earn 1 certificate at a time, and put them together to earn the master's credential in the end. Next slide, I guess, please, Aisha. So let's see, it's 2021. In 2022, 2023, we will be offering 2 of the certificates. We'll be offering network security and data privacy. So I'll talk about what's involved in those 2. Here are the courses in the network security certificate. So each certificate consists of 4 courses that you will do. And all of these 5 courses will be offered in the 2022-2023 year. So as I mentioned, you see here a fairly broad spectrum of different types of ways to consider cybersecurity. So the Ethical Hacking Lab is a very hands-on course where you will be in a lab working with your classmates and exploring how to use various offensive and defensive technologies for attacking networks. We're building a very exciting resource to facilitate this, a really large cyber range where we can very easily simulate a whole bunch of realistic attack scenarios and real ones, and get you again, hands-on experience in defending against these attacks and playing the role of attacker and defender and really learning how this works. And then, quick complete change of pace. We have courses on governance and risk management. Michael Primo, who's here, is going to be teaching that for us this year, and we'll, in his Q&A period, can probably talk a little bit more about that. But again, very much on now the policy side, which, as I think most people realize, is also very important for doing security right. We have to have the tools to do it, but we also have need to have the proper procedures and risk management techniques in order to use them effectively. The next course is policies, standards, and programs. Again, much of what is done in corporations and institutions relies on what is mandated by various governmental policies. There's also various standards that you want to be compliant with in order to demonstrate that you're doing the best job you possibly can to secure your customers' data or your employees' payroll information, for example. So we talk about that, what are these policies? And also, how to write them, how to read them. Then we have applied cryptography. Again, cryptography is one of the most important fundamental tools that we have for protecting data. So we teach you, what that is, what are the basic types of cryptographic techniques, and how you use them properly. And this is the course that I teach in the program. I'm just finishing up our current iteration of it right now. It's lots of fun. I'm sure you'll love it when you do it with next year as well. And then the last one, this being the network security certificate, we have a course on network security specifically. Just what are the tools that we have in order to provide those assurances. Okay. So if you do the master's program, you will take all of these next year. The certificate, to just earn the certificate, you see there's an option. You only need one of the 641 or 613. You just need 4 courses out of this list for if you only want the certificate. And for the master's, you would do them all. Next slide, please, Aisha. The data privacy certificate then requires the following courses. Again, if you're only doing the certificate, you have an option. You only have to do 4 of these, as it says in the small print below. If you do the master's program, you would take all 5 of these. Again, there's just a total of 8 courses though. So 643 and 601 were listed on the network security and sort of do double duty there. There's only 8 courses you have to do for the master's. So here for data privacy, again, we see policies, standards, and programs. Again, also super important for doing privacy. There's lots of regulatory frameworks that you have to understand in order to make sure that you're compliant with laws and how data has to be protected. Private data management is the next course. So this is now again some theoretical and practical underpinnings of the mechanisms that are available in order to protect sensitive data. We see applied cryptography again as one of the options for just the certificate, again required for the master's program. Again, a lot of the tools that we have in place to protect data rely fundamentally on crypto. So we got to learn how to use that. The next course, topics and data privacy. This year, the instructor is doing this course based on techniques called privacy enhancing technologies. So these are techniques that build on fundamental cryptographic tools to provide lots of really good and important functionalities for protecting data specifically. And probably that's what we'll have the following year as well. And then the final one is the lab course. So each of the certificates has a really hands-on lab course where you really get in there and work with tools and implement things, experiment with attacks. In the data privacy certificate, it's this last one, a privacy by design lab, where that's exactly what you will be doing. You'll be scripting up various attacks on data, trying to run them, figuring out how they work, and seeing how the various defenses work to counter them. Okay. Next slide, please, Aisha. And then finally, again, for the one of the more, to my mind at least, one of the exciting aspects of our program, for the master's at least, is after you've done the 8 courses, you'll wrap this up with either an internship project or a capstone project. So we will help you find a industry position for the internship if that's what you'd like to do. Allison will speak to this more shortly. And you will get some hands-on experience and hopefully a leg up, getting a permanent job in the discipline. If you don't want to do that, or maybe you already have a job and you just want to get the program to facilitate advancement in your own organization, you could also elect to do a capstone project, possibly either on your own or in collaboration with whomever you're currently working with in order to find something that'll satisfy this requirement and be of some benefit to you and your organization. So lots of options to accomplish this. But again, the main idea is that after our classroom instruction, lots of experience of different types there, you get an opportunity to go and put it into practice at the end of the program and learn how these things work in the real world. Next slide, please, Aisha. I think that concludes my part of the presentation, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And again, we'll take questions after. So, go ahead.
Thank you so much for all that information, Mike. Now we will have our graduate internship program coordinator, Allison Steele, come educate us on the internship taken during the master's.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. So as Mike mentioned, we do offer as the final component of the master program, either the capstone or the internship. So if you choose to go the internship route, you will be working with me. It is every student's responsibility to find a placement. Having said that, there are many resources and connections in place to help facilitate that. So you have me, we have an industry partner that works in internship as well, who posts job positions to our science job board that you would have access to. We also have two dedicated career consultants that work career consultants that work specifically with master's students. So you would have access to with them as well to help with any kind of resume workshops, interviewing, networking opportunities. So there's lots of really great resources that we have on campus to help find exciting positions for you. The length of the internship itself is a minimum 200 hours, up to a maximum of 4 months in length. So the ideal is for everyone to go through it together, and there's a final presentation at the end so everyone can see all the really exciting opportunities their fellow classmates had and share kind of what worked with their experiences, what didn't. And you're obviously going to be incorporating what you learned in the program with your internship. So it has to be related to the field of information security. So cybersecurity positions, there's lots of them in Calgary, as Isha mentioned at the very beginning. We're on target to be one of the top cities for cybersecurity in Canada. So it's a great place to do this program. And yeah, it's a really exciting part of the program is to actually get that hands-on experience. A lot of our other programs, internship positions usually can turn into permanent employment. So it's a good opportunity to help with that networking and get that experience to get the job that you want. So I'm gonna kind of leave it there. If there's any questions at the end, I'm gonna stick around and feel free to ask me. And I'll put my email in the chat as well for any individual circumstance type questions. Just feel free to send me an email.
Thank you so much for all that information, Allison. Now we will be hearing from our great industry speaker, Michael Premio.
Thanks very much for the introduction, Isha. Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael Primo. I am a principal consultant working for online business systems. I work out of our Calgary office. We have international reach. We're all over, primarily North America and the EMEA markets. We do a variety of different things. We do penetration testing. We are a PCI DSS auditing company, so we have about 45 QSAs that work for us. I work in the risk part of our practice. I'm lead for risk assessments, risk management, so anything client related that has to do with cyber risk comes across my desk. Happy to be here today. I'm a firm believer in the security community, and as you can see from my profile, I've invested a lot of time and effort into growing the security community and helping it to evolve and mature here in Calgary. First became interested in the local security community about 17 years ago. I came on board with an organization called Security Professionals Information Exchange, SPY, and then went on to form another organization, which is a chapter of ISC Squared. ISC Squared, they are the regulatory body for the CISSP certification, and they have a variety of other certifications as well. So we established a chapter in the province of Alberta, Canada, and we have two big centers here, one in Edmonton and one in Calgary. And we do things like, different types of conferences, seminars, that kind of thing for primarily for the local security community, but we also open it up to the much broader just Alberta community, people that might be interested. So yeah, this is my profile. Things that I'm very passionate about are working with people, working with processes. I spent probably about 15 years of my 22 years working in cybersecurity on more of the technical side, became really interested and fascinated by people and process aspects of cybersecurity, which has been primarily my focus for the last, let's say, about 10 years working in that area. I have a question coming in. Did you want to handle the questions, Isha, or as we're going along, or how did you want to handle that?
I think we could wait till the end, or if you'd like to address that, you could go ahead and do that.
Sure.
I don't know which Michael this is for, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I was referring to John.
Okay,
okay.
so
Yeah.
Dr. Jacobson. Okay.
Sure. I just
Yep.
I saw how Michael.
Yeah, anyone can answer. It's okay. It's an open question, basically.
Yeah, I'll leave that one for Michael, and Isha, I'll ask you to advance slides.
Well, so the next one was just our frequently asked questions. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Sorry. I thought there was another slide. So yeah, if you could just go back to my slide, that'd be great. Yeah, so there were a couple of other questions, like discussion points that we're going to look at here today. One of them was, how did I get into my line of work? Well, basically, about 22, 23 years ago, one of my clients is a security firm. They had developed some industrial strength encryption technology. It was 4096-bit, kind of taking the same approach that RSA took. They encrypted a document and challenged the world to crack the code. And they offered a $2 million reward, and created a lot of international attention, also paved the way for them to grow the business through mergers and acquisitions. And within about a year, we had a very solid North American presence. And I became interested in this company. I was doing some work for them. They offered a position, and I was really excited about it, and still am. That was my introduction to, in 1999, it was my introduction to cybersecurity. And it was right around the time when there's a lot of interesting things happening in the industry at that point. It was right around the time when Mafia Boy had brought down some major e-commerce sites. So there was a lot of media attention, but it was also a time when hardly any corporations, only about 30% of corporations actually had firewalls. So the internet was in its infancy back then. It was kind of the wild west of cybersecurity. Certainly caught my interest and has kept my interest ever since. And job prospects for Calgary. There are every week I get calls from a variety of placement agencies looking to fill a variety of different roles. Some are more technical, some are pure GRC. I had a call last week from a lady. She's looking for an ISO auditor that can go work for them permanently. And the salaries that they're offering here are pretty reasonable. Anywhere from, gosh, I've seen entry-level positions starting at around $60,000, $70,000, right up to over $100,000. So, some of them are for entry-level positions. They're pretty good. So yeah, lots of job prospects. If you do get an opportunity to intern, it It doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get a job working for that company, but it does provide just a ton of practical experience. And typically that's what employers are looking for. They're looking for any certifications that you might have. They're looking for those practical experiences. And whether or not, you've, I also, as I mentioned at the outset, I'm quite involved in the local security community. So if you're looking for a good way of being able to interact with other people, develop some relationships with folks in the industries that might be able to direct you to a company that's hiring, that kind of thing. It's a great opportunity to meet some of the other industry professionals. We just had a conference, B-Sides conference last month, very well attended. So there's a variety of different programs and resources available in the Alberta and the Calgary market to help get you started in the right path. Yeah, so maybe what I could do now is just open it up for any specific questions that anyone has. I am super excited about being selected as one of the instructors for the risk and governance course that that UFC is going to be teaching. As part of that, we're going to be looking at a variety of different things. One of the highlights of this course is going to be performing risk assessments. So by the time attendees and students will have finished that course, they will have been well versed in performing risk assessments. They'll have all of the tools, the mindset, and the knowledge to be able to effectively perform risk assessments for companies that they work for.
Thank you so much, Michael. I think people can ask their questions at the end during their Q&A.
Perfect. Thank you.
So I guess we'll just get ahead into the frequently asked questions. One of the most common frequently asked questions is definitely, what are the program requirements? So for our program, it is required that you have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA in the last 2 years of your 4 years bachelor's degree and completion of the 3 prerequisite courses listed with at least a B grade. If you would like to get more details or inquire about your eligibility, please email prograd.science@ucalgary.ca. Another question often asked is regarding the tuition. This